If you haven't seen this video yet or you didn't get the notification for it, the link will be in the description box. Make sure you go and check it out. What is going on, everybody? It's Jaye Black here. I want to talk about Heightism versus Colorism explained. Now I'm going to start doing more explained videos because I think I have to really explain it for people who get triggered by my commentary. Now, if you're new to the channel, my delivery is a bit unique. I don't follow a script. I don't write anything. I write notes here and there. That's usually on video topics. But when it comes to video commentary, I go completely off the cuff. That's why I am good at what I do. It's undeniable. Okay. Because my words will either, you either learn something, it'll be helpful, or you will have a disdain towards what I'm saying. Now, speaking on this topic, is a very hotly debated topic when it comes to colorism. But nobody's talking. Well, I'm not saying nobody, but I don't see a lot of men who are considered short being so, outraged and so angry when they are rejected by women due to the fact that they're not tall enough. So that's why I have this video the way that I have it, because I'm seeing so many dark-skinned women on social media, because it's the only place I see it, complaining that they're not being promoted. They're saying that men aren't dating them because they're dark-skinned. Well, how do you think men who are short feel? Have these women who have all these complaints took the opportunity to really look at it from a male's perspective? Not necessarily skin tone, but height. You can't help how tall you are, just like you can't help how dark you are. Now, I will say though, there are treatments to lighten your skin, so I can't say that you can't help that, because you kind of can. You got so many women in the industry who are getting lighter and lighter and lighter because they're using those skin bleaching creams. Okay. And I'm starting, and women, and what's funny that the same females complaining about colorism are getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and this situation to me can go a myriad of ways, right? But I want to focus on Heightism for a second. Heightism isn't necessarily a full-on, discussion of debate. Like, I don't really see a lot of women discussing it because they don't care. They have their preferences, as we as men have our own, which is why I don't understand why women get upset when men have their preferences. It's almost like women can have preferences, but we cannot. Well, we can, as long as we choosing them. But you have men who are considered short. All right. They're not getting chose. They're being rejected. They're being clowned because they're not tall enough. You have women who think that height equals masculinity, equals a man who can protect them, so to speak. You don't see men who are short getting on social media complaining about being short. They'll bring it up because they want to discuss their life and how they have been discriminated against in the dating market. But all you see is a bunch of women talking about it doesn't matter whether they're attractive or not. There are still men who are going to reject them, especially the men they want. And we all know the men they want. They want the top 15 to 20% of men. They want to be promoted in commercials and television and movies. The actual truth is that they were promoted in movies and TV shows. They were. Now, in some roles, they were stereotypical, attitude, this, that, and third. But a lot of dark-skinned artists in the music industry, females, actresses, they were promoted. They weren't discriminated against. And what I'm seeing is that you have women who want to be chosen by these guys. They want to be ran through. They want to be used up by these guys. They see these light-skinned women having all the fun. They want to get in on it, quote unquote. Even though a lot of these artists have had children by dark-skinned women, they've dated them. It just so happens this is the particular time they're choosing to date biracial women, light-skinned women, white women. And I just want the more melanated women to understand something. There are men out there who are short, who have a legitimate gripe about being rejected in the dating market. But the reason why they don't complain is because they move on. We as men, we move on. And what women don't understand is that there are more women than there are men. So if you are looking, right, to date the 15 to 20%, your dating pool is going to be very, very short. Now, when it comes to promotion in the media, I just don't understand why that really matters when we don't see a lot of support for these said dark-skinned women, like these dark-skinned rappers. But I do see support for Cardi B. I see a lot of black women supporting Cardi B and other lighter-skinned women who are in the entertainment industry. You know, there are dark-skinned R&B singers and rappers who aren't getting the same amount of support. Let's just be real, they're not. You know, when I made videos about Cardi B, there's a lot of sisters defending her. You know, now a lot of you females are entitled to have preferences. I know y'all got preferences. Some of y'all have a preference for lighter skinned men. Some of y'all have a preference for men who are really tall, men who are skinny. You know, they have a six pack, and men are going to have their preferences as well. But I just feel like you discriminate against men because of their height. Not only, but you do have some women that will say, I'm just not going to date no short guy, a guy shorter than me, whatever. And what's funny is that you will have a female who's 5'3", 5'4", saying she won't date a guy who's 5'7", 5'8", even though he's taller than her. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want a guy who's towering over you? Okay, he has to lean down and kiss you. Why would you want somebody that tall? That doesn't make sense to me. You know, it's like when I see people who are short driving big old trucks. You know, or it's almost like they're overcompensating when they really don't even need to. But that's just what they do. I think these whole arguments are stupid. You know, are there women who are dark skinned who are being, you know, legitimately not promoted or no one wants to date them? Yes, that goes on. But I don't think it's an epidemic to the point to where we need to, you know, have, you know, full on discussions, because we're talking about dating preferences for the most part. Yeah, we can talk about makeup commercials. We can talk about movies, but I still see dark skinned women in movies. Now, you do see a lot of light skinned women who are starring in these films, but in movies and TV shows, they are on there. But a lot of some of them are in stereotypical roles. Again, those women accept those roles. What can you say? You know, but, you know, unless you're going to support people who look like you specifically, I don't see anything changing, because you still got these sisters who will go and they will support these brands, you know, these Caucasian brands. You know, they will go and buy hair from these Koreans instead of supporting their own. But, you know, when it comes to their dating life, when it comes to the men that they want, when it comes to being promoted, they feel some type of way, even though they might be into men who are lighter than they are. Because I have seen a lot of darker skinned women with biracial children. They date specifically outside their race. They date light skinned men. And they will blame everything under the sun for why that is. But you don't see a lot of shorter guys blaming, you know, tall women or, you know, women in general for why their life sucks. You know, I'm not saying that your life sucks. I'm just saying, like, in general, these guys move on with their lives. Okay, they just go about their business. You know, I know short dudes who, they get a lot of action. You know, they don't have to want for not getting female attention. But there are women who will specifically say out of their own mouths, I'm not into short guys. I'm not into guys who are, you know, my height, or, you know, who aren't, you know, over 6 feet. Even though the average height for a lot of guys is like, what, 5'10", 5'9"? That is the average. Like, Where I'm from, you don't see a lot of tall guys. You see a lot of guys who are average height. You know, they're between, I would say 5'6" and 6 feet, 6'1". That's what you're gonna see. Especially when I see a lot down here. You don't see a lot of tall guys. You know, I think they see these NBA players and they think all men look like that, should look like that, or look like that. No, they don't. I think these arguments or these debates, they can be had, but the amount of vitriol I see is crazy to me. Listen, I know men and women are different, but I want people to look at it this way. You like who you like, but you have to live in reality. And who these rappers are dating, who these pro athletes are dating, that is a whole different world. You shouldn't focus on who they're dating because they live a totally different lifestyle. Now, I can understand if these guys are coming out publicly and discriminate against you. They have a huge following, fan base, and you don't want to feel humiliated, right? I can understand that if a guy, let's say one of these rappers posts something about wanting, more lighter women. You have every right to be upset. You have every right to be upset. But don't get triggered just because your favorite rapper isn't with a woman who looks like you, because you never know how many women he's been with and dated. You just know who he's with at that particular moment. Not everybody put their relationships out there. Not everybody put their relationships out there. Just like you don't put all your relationships out there, they're not putting theirs out there. If these brands don't want to promote you, don't support them. Why complain to get them to promote you? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Put your money where your mouth is. Promote people who look like you, who are willing to put content out there that has your face. And when it comes to heightism versus colorism, I mean, debates are good. Any type of debate is good. But I feel like you were born who you are, and that's who you're going to be, unless you have surgical enhancements. That's different. But complaining about it and thinking that's going to change anything isn't, unless you're willing to financially put your money in that direction to where you support people that don't look like you. And also, when it comes to dating preferences, you have your preferences as women, men have theirs. So